My connection to the King of Sweden goes back to when I got the first Stockholm Water Prize. That was 1991, and the king was already booked for that ceremony, although he was supposed to give out the prize. So I got my prize from the Queen. But I think the king was a little worried about protocol. So I got back, and a couple of weeks later, I got an invitation to come to Sweden for a visit, and had about an hour and a half private audience with the king, and with a lot of discussion of ecology. And he had a series of things in mind. He wanted to start a series of royal colloquiums that he'd have every few years on important ecological issues. So I helped advise him on the first and a couple of since then. But I've been back either to royal colloquia or one thing about the Stockholm Water Prize, you get invited back every year, and I've been back twice, and I'll probably go back this year because it's the 20th anniversary of the prize, and the king is always there, and we know each other really well by this time, and we know each other's interests, and his interests outside of science are similar to mine too. He's very interested in dogs, for example, and hunting and things like this. And he's also a very shy person who sort of opens up when he finds that he doesn't have to be his usual dignified self. As I mentioned, the most recent venture was I got invited to float around in the Baltic on a Swedish icebreaker with a group of climate scientists to inform the king and his daughter, the Crown Princess, and the Crown Prince of Denmark about various issues connected with climate warming, particularly with emphasis on the Arctic. And that ended up as a volume of the Swedish journal Ambio, and it got huge press coverage. There were no press along on the boat, but when we landed in Stockholm, the dock was full of press wanting to interview the king and the crown princess about what they'd learned and what they thought about what they'd heard and so forth. So it's really a good way of getting visibility. He's had one on tropical pollution problems, another on terrestrial Arctic problems that was held at their northern field station in Sweden. And they're quite good events. And I don't think he hesitates to write or invite me to come for consultation. I don't know how many other people he does this with, but I find that in general he's so passionate about ecology that it's always a very pleasant visit.